Hello and welcome. I'm Damon Bruce. Good to have you along for the NBA here on 2K Sports. Friday Hoops Fest coming up.
It's the Pacers in Indianapolis as we bring you an Eastern Conference. Welcome, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, as we get set to bring you some terrific NBA action. And our State Farm starting lineups. Here's a look. And, guys, taking a look at Paul George, what will we see from him?
Well, he's an exciting young player. Almost 6'10", great athleticism, length, dynamic finisher at the rim, and he can guard multiple positions defensively.
And you know what, Steve? His growth defensively has been just as impressive. He uses that length to great advantage, contesting shots and coming away with deflections and steals.
And I think a big change for the Pacers, and one of the reasons they've become one of the better teams in the East, was the addition of David West. You know, he just brought some leadership that was much needed for a very young Pacers roster.
Granger drives in, outside, George, over Richardson. The shot by George, no good.
I'll tell you what, for what's really an elementary shot, he looked a little nervous on that release.
Turner. It's rebounded by Indiana. Stevie, talk about leadership. You can't overemphasize how big a difference having a vet can be. And the Pacers and David West, that was like a perfect marriage, Clark.
A hand-in-glove fit. West really was the perfect fit for a young, promising, developing team. He's a two-time All-Star. He brings experience and toughness and leadership. And he helped everybody on the team get to the same page, and they ended up having a great season.
Now here is Holiday. Bynum. He's guarded by Hill. Holiday against Hill. Holiday dishes to Bynum.
Well, there's never been any question about the potential of Andrew Bynum. Got great skills down on the block, can block shots at the defensive end of the floor. The question mark really is his health. He's had to battle knee injuries throughout his career.
And in the first, a little over a minute and a half in. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
I was able to speak with Frank Vogel for a minute. He'll be facing one of the towering post presences of the game in Andrew Bynum. Coach said, you know he's getting so much more aggressive looking for his shot inside. He can finish right over the top of you. As with any big guy like him, it starts with getting a low base and trying to keep him out as far as you can. Then offensively, you've got to be ready to drop it off when he rotates to block the shot. Guys, we'll see if they can make the right adjustments.
All right, Doris. Going back to Bynum, even playing Clark less than full strength, he can really impact the game.
Yeah, an effective shot blocker and post defender, Kevin, with excellent touch inside. His size helps him be a huge factor at both ends.
Using his strength nicely there to ensure the rebound. Good work.
And Holiday, here we go. Gets it to go.
That's grace over power, guys. That finger roll gets him 2 points. Impressive stuff.
Outside Hill. On the wing, Granger. From deep. And it's Paul George with the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Not much doubt about that over-the-back call.
Yeah, he was all over his back that time. Looked like he was going for a piggyback ride.
And Holiday kicks to Turner. Hawes backing down. Fires it up. Can't get it to go. So Indiana will take it the other way. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
And it's Hibbert missing.
And the defense did a pretty good job of closing off the middle once he got inside the lane.
Hawes, no luck. Pacers trail by 5. And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. And the basket by Hill.
Nice teamwork there. The pick freeing up his teammate.
The 76ers have gone 3 of 7 from the field since we've gotten underway. And Holiday kicks to Bynum. Bynum is doubled. Hawes. There's the dish to Turner. 6 to shoot. David West grabs the miss.
And Doug Collins, the head coach of the Sixers, he was actually the #1 overall pick in the 1973 draft and had 4 years as an All-Star in his 8 seasons in the league before his career was cut short by injuries.
Now here's West after the miss from Evan Turner. Hibbert inside. Richardson covering. Hibbert gets the bucket. The 76ers leading. And you mentioned Doug Collins' playing days, cut short by injury. But he's also had, Steve, a very good career as a broadcaster. So good, in fact, he was elected into the Hall of Fame.
I think the best color commentator that the NBA has ever seen, to be honest with you, Kevin. I know you worked with him for many years. I've worked with him as well. I've learned so much from him in terms of how to communicate what you're seeing on the floor as a broadcaster. So that's the only bad thing about him coaching is we don't get to listen to him anymore.
The 76ers have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both.
Well, last year collectively, this team shot 74% from the free throw line, pretty low number.
And, whenever they get into a stretch where it looked like maybe they would turn it around at the line, they would immediately take a step back.
George gets a screen from Hibbert. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Granger, Turner covering. Easy shot. And again, it's Indiana. Here's Holiday. The pass to Turner. Feeds to Bynum. He's against Hibbert. The turnaround Jay. And again, it's Andrew Bynum. Bynum's got 7.
The turnaround jumper, guys, is one of those shots that always just looks so good. It's got that nice, smooth, singular motion. Sweet.
Now here's Granger. West a screen on Richardson. George passes to Granger. Shoots over Turner. Granger can't get that one to fall. Holiday against Hill. Bynum kicks to Turner. Back to Bynum. Good ball movement here by the 76ers. Here's Holiday, and the 76ers tack on 2 more.
Tell you what, he's 3 or 4 now. Looks like his game's on offensively.
Holiday against Hill. Back to Hibbert. Outside, George. Granger with the screen for George. Outside, Hill. 6 on the shot clock. Hill gets a screen from Hibbert. Off the screen. Here's George. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Great job. Take it right at the defense. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah, he left him no choice but to foul there.
How about Paul George? Since he got into the NBA, he's grown a couple of inches. He's now 6'10". And as a swingman, that's just great size. Phenomenal athlete, can guard pretty much anybody on the court.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Mahinmi's checked in for Hibbert. Hansbrough comes in for David West. Green, he's checked in for Danny Granger. And DJ Augustine subbed in for George Hill. And it's the 76ers with the ball. They lead by 4. Bynum dishes to Young. Over Green. He's off from 17 feet. And Paul George taken with the 11th pick in the 2010 NBA draft. Clark, if you look back at that class, you think if they did it over, he'd go higher?
I don't know if he would or not, but I'm certainly glad he fell where he did to number 10 and for the Indiana Pacers, because I think he's got a chance to be a star. At both ends of the floor, it's a matter of commitment to the extra work and keeping his feet on the ground, staying humble and hungry. If he does that, kid's got a chance to be a special player.
The 76ers have gone 6 of 13 from the field, just under the 50% mark. Young pass to Allen. Got a piece of it. Paul George with the steal. And here's the break. And Green gets it to go. And the Pacers lead by 1. And for the 76ers, they're shooting around 46% at this point.
As the Sixers have kind of turned things around here recently, you have to make a connection between them becoming a better defensive team and also who their leader is on the sideline, and that's Doug Collins, one of the best.
And the Pacers shooting around 46% at this point. Find him again to Augustine. And Andrew Bynum pulls it down. Back to what you said about the 76ers and their defense. As they've improved in the standings, it has been all about their defense. Steve, I think for the majority of the season, they were allowing the least points a game of any team in the league.
Well, they established an identity, and that's what every team needs to do. You've got to play to your talents. That's what Doug Collins put together there in Philadelphia. They made a lot of steals. They got out in transition, but a tough, quick, defensive-minded team.
And so here is Indiana after the Sixers pick up 2. On the clock, Augustine.
You know, Augustine is only 6 feet tall. He's not a blinding athlete, but he's an excellent ball handler, good jump shooter, and he's got a nice feel for the game.
He does have a nice feel, Steve, and to get his shot off, he has to be elusive and use his agility to create space for the shot. And some changes here for the Pacers. Granger comes in for Mahinmi, and George Hills subbed in for Paul George. Here's Ivy, headed by Augustine. Ivy kicks to Young. He kicks it to Turner. Here's Allen, and it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. First trip to the free throw line for him in this one. No good on that one.
Well, the 76ers didn't really make any drastic changes heading into last year, preferring to just let their core grow. And I thought that worked for the most part. You know, they really played well early in the season, but it was kind of disconcerting to see them fade the way they did late in the year.
Augustine dishes to Granger. Pass to Augustine. Back to Granger. Outside Hill. And there's the rejection. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. David West, he's checked in for George Hill. 76ers have gotten 7 of their first 16 field goal attempts to go down here in the first. Ivy kicks to Young. Augustine with the steal. Granger outside. Rebound by the 76ers. Turner's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Still, though, you know, a lot of teams faded toward the end, Steve, don't you think? And if you're the 76ers, you have to be pleased with, Clark, how that core grew as they approach the end of the season.
Yeah, they know that they can have stretches where they can really compete with anybody in the East without really having to bring anybody in. The next step for them is to be able to maintain that level of play for the whole season and continue to get growth from their young players.
Here's Allen. The Pacers making the shot. Shot's good from Young. Clark, a lot of give and take between these sides early.
Kevin, how about 6 lead changes in this half already?
Yeah, good one here, guys. This is going to be fun to watch. 2 evenly matched teams, both teams playing hard.
Roy Hibbert's checked in for Indiana. Paul George comes in for Green. Philadelphia also making some changes. Hawes comes in for LaVoy Allen. And it's Richardson in for Evan Turner. Outside, George. West a screen on Young. George with the ball. And Young picks him up defensively. That's good. West has got 5 now. Here's Ivy, headed by Augustine. Young against West. Young inside. Gets the bucket. Young's got his first basket.
Made that one look easy, didn't they?
Indiana trailing here. There's a minute left to play in the first quarter. Backing down is Hibbert. And again, it's Indiana. 51 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Here's Ivy, headed by Augustine. Ivy kicks to Richardson. Dishes to Hawes. Good. And the 76ers lead by 2.
You know, they're just getting hammered inside and really need to find a way to be tougher down there. They got to be physical. They got to man up in there.
I agree. I mean, you look at the points they're giving up. Most of them seem to be coming inside the paint.
Now here is Augustine. Here's West. Jason Richardson pulls it in.
+5 on the boards already here in the first quarter. They've gotten after it.
Yeah, that's a great sign in this game. If they're going to continue to rebound the ball like this, I think they're in great shape.
And Young backs in. Ivy. The feed to Richardson. Fires for three. The shot, no good. A good close contest so far. As we finish the first quarter. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And guys, what's your take on the 76ers so far?
And I thought they built this lead mainly because of their work on the glass. They really dominated the rebounding totals.
And it takes an effort from all five guys to get a rebounding advantage like that. Everybody has to rebound the ball. That's how you finish off your defense.
We've got Danny Granger. Green is out there with DJ Augustine. Then there's Ian Mahinmi. And it's Hansbrough in at the power forward. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Pacers.
Soft defense right there. Way too soft.
Holiday, the pass to Bynum. Rebounded by Granger. Granger's got 4 rebounds in this game. Augustine with it. Back to Granger. Granger left side. Goes back up. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You know, even from here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
Yep, pretty obvious. And a good call by the official.
George Hill's checked in for the Pacers. Evan Turner, he's checked in for the 76ers.
Well, it's interesting. Indiana is known for being a hotbed of basketball. And in recent years, the Pacers have not drawn well, in large part because I didn't think their teams were very likable. But that's changed. The current Pacer group is a hard-working, unselfish team, and I think they're fun to watch.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, last season was Spencer Hawes' best on the glass, and Coach Doug Collins thinks he can do even better. When Spencer is around the basket and active, great things happen, said Collins. There is no reason he can't be a top 10 rebounder, and I actually told him he could even be top 5. But Collins was quick to add that Hawes has already made great strides, saying Spencer has earned not only the coach's respect, but his teammates' respect. And you do that by the way you play. Kevin?
Well, he's getting back at being the impact player he was at the University of Washington. Doris, thank you. The unselfishness you mentioned, Steve, with this Pacers group, they really play team basketball, and they look out for each other.
And Kevin, a big part of it is they don't really have a superstar that they're built around. They are just a good collection of good to outstanding players, and they're all willing to defer in order to get the win.
That's a great quality.
Yep.
Now, here is Hill. Green kicks to Hansbrough. Back to Green. Shot clock at 6. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
And some changes here for the 76ers. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Mahinmi. Granger comes in for Tyler Hansbrough. And it's George in for Augustine. Ivy dishes to Young. Hibbert with the block. And they're able to recover. That shot's good from Hawes. Hawes got his second bucket of the game to go.
This game very well could come down to a few possessions, and if that's the case, rebounding could play large.
Yeah, in a close game like this one, securing the ball is so vital.
Now, here is George. Granger outside. Drills it from outside. Granger's got 5.
And that's his first three-pointer, so maybe that one will get him started.
You know, guys, when I watched Spencer Hawes play back at the University of Washington in college, he really had a nice post-up game. He's kind of gotten away from that in the NBA, drifting more to the perimeter, and part of the reason for that is the size and athleticism of the front line players is a lot different at this level.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
The 76ers shooting their 6th and 7th free throw attempts tonight.
And, you know, there was plenty of blame to go around for that. I mean, it wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. I mean, for the most part, the entire team struggled.
David West, he's checked in for Roy Hibbert. Hill kicks it to West. Granger outside. Green. Indiana moving it around. Granger with the screen for George. Granger defended by Young. Granger misses.
And going back to Spencer Hawes, you know, he's kind of shied away from contact in the pros. He's rarely in the lane, more of a pick and pop type big man. Excellent passer. You can run some offense through him from the perimeter. I think his game is good. I think he can get better.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
Hill passes to West. Right side, George. George gets a screen from Granger. And George kicks to Granger. Green dishes to George. Can't get it to go. And Philadelphia the other way now. Richardson the pass to Young. And that one's good. And it's a tie ball game.
3 straight buckets in the paint. They're making it look effortless.
Well, speaking of effortless, we'd like to see a little more out of the defense. How about trying, guys?
Now here's Granger. 5 points in the game. He passes to Green. Back to Granger. Over Young. Again, the miss by Granger.
He's laboring out there right now, guys. The shot has... Oh,
get it!
Oh, what the
Oh!
Well, after he threw that one down, he felt free to hang around for a little while.
A little extra emphasis at the end.
Now, you got to be careful, too, on that. It used to be an automatic technical foul. They'll still call it at times, but they're a little more selective with the call.
That was a nice replay. Brought to you by Sprite. And the 76ers making a change here. Young's checked in. Granger with the ball. And Young picks him up defensively. West setting the pick for Hill. Back to Granger. They need this one. Gets it to go. Granger's got 7 points in the game.
You know, he got 1 step ahead of the defense on that one. Excellent job.
Here's Ivy. He's guarded by Hill. Kicks it to Hawes. He feeds it to Ivy. The 3. Pacers with the rebound. West has got his 3rd rebound tonight. George dishes to Green. Hill. Back to Green. Kicks it out to Granger. Young's there. Granger drives in. They kick it out to Green from deep. And the Pacers another 3.
They're hovering around 50% for the game and 3-pointer. That's pretty good. But they've really elevated here in the second quarter.
The Pacers making a switch here. Augustine's checked in. Ivy kicks to Young. He dishes it to Ivy. Back to Young. Makes the lead pass. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
Now, not a popular call, as you can hear in the background.
Not at all. Unanimous disapproval of that whistle.
Mahaney's checked in for Indiana. Andrew Bynum's checked in for the 76ers. Young with the steal. Now the 76ers on the break. Ivy leading the charge. Young's shot is off.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Now here is Augustine. Back to Granger. Just 5 to shoot. And Andrew Bynum pulls it down. Bynum's got 4 rebounds now tonight.
They may have to start looking for some other options because he's really struggling out there.
Indiana leading. Hill kicks to Augustine. On the wing, George. Granger with the screen for George. Pass to Augustine. Granger is screwed on Young. Augustine. With the clock winding down. Oh, and the jam by Granger.
Boy, that's hard-nosed sandpaper basketball right there. A lot of little friction in there, partner.
Oh, I love the way you described that. Was it ever? Nobody was going to get to the rim but him.
Oh, man, with the violent putback to finish it off.
Now, here is Young. He's got 7. And yes, sir, that one drops.
Kevin, great finish on the low block. I love it. Well, you talk about the teams that are on the rise in the East, and you have to take a good, strong look at what the Pacers have done. A big reason for their resurgence is how well they play in the Eastern Conference, but also they've got some young, talented players that continue to get better.
And the basket by Hill.
And defensively, remember, you got to fight through screens to avoid giving up open looks.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Steve. And the defense has to go over the top of that screen. I think that's how they get it done.
Now, here is Young. 6 points for him. Ivy passes to Young. And the whistle blows, and it's going to be an over-the-back call here.
Now we'll see what happens here. You got to be aware that's your second foul. Question is, do you keep him on the floor or not?
Bynum with a screen on Augustine. Ivy dishes to Bynum. The dish to Ivy. Young left side.
He just can't get a good feel for his shot at this point. That's one of the reasons they're losing.
Off target with the open look. Thinking the Pacers, you know, Steve, you don't end up as the 3rd seed in your conference unless you're beating your peers.
Yeah, 29 wins for them against the other Eastern Conference teams, and they've made it clear they're going to be a force for the foreseeable future. They've got a really nice, strong young roster.
And it's blocked.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier. That was a hole punch jam there, Kevin.
A nice finish.
Yeah, you got to love the way he just capped off that strong move.
Now here is Augustine. The pass to Hill. Feeds it to Augustine. He kicks it to Granger. Shot clock at 5. A jump hook, and that one's good. Granger's got 9 points now in the quarter.
Well, Granger has never been shy shooting the ball, Kevin. He's a guy who shoots it with supreme confidence, great range, and as basically a hybrid 4, you have to guard him all the way out to the perimeter, and that opens up the paint as well.
Yeah, he's got in the gym range, Steve, and with his height and length, he'll pull up with the defender right on him and just shoot it over the top of him.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Mahinmi. Hansbrough comes in for Danny Granger. And it's Green in for Paul George. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, through the first third of last season, the Philadelphia 76ers were sitting atop the Atlantic and among the top teams in the East. But then they hit a wall. Most significantly, their offense really struggled. And it was interesting that even though their defensive philosophy was to force other teams into mid-range jump shots, all too often they settled for these shots themselves. So even though their caution offensively kept their turnovers down, their shooting percentages were pretty abysmal. Kevin, will see if this season they can attack a bit more to get some higher percentage looks.
We will indeed. Thank you, Doris. Here's Augustine, and you know that's going to be goaltending, guys, so that's a free basket right there.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Evan Turner, he's checked in for Nick Young.
There have not been a lot of years where the 76ers have missed out on the playoffs, Kevin. I mean, overall, the franchise has done a really good job of keeping the down years to a minimum and having a shot at the title in a number of those seasons.
And Augustine kicks to Green. And he was fouled on the way out. 2 free throws now for him. This is his second trip to the line in this one. That free throw missing.
Free throws haven't been too kind to them here in the second quarter. I mean, you have the lead with the ability to extend that lead. In order for that to happen, you've got to make your free throws.
Thaddeus Young, he's checked in for Philadelphia. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And Holiday kicks to Richardson. Over Hill. Another miss by Philadelphia. Here's Hibbert. Now Augustine. The 3 from Hill. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And so we wrap up the first half.